brothers are there. Martin, I should just getting told shut up.
I shouldn't have said it, man. We always remind the youngers, respect the elders, but we don't remind the elders to have mercy on the youngers.
We just hire youngers who we give da'wah to who need a job. That is our hiring process. And the times we have tried to hire online, we've ended up with Spice from MI5. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Brothers and sisters, welcome back. Chai with my Bhai. The ones who know, I'm telling you that now, 100%. And the ones who don't know might go and now try and find out. And people might comment below saying, oh, this is what Booker was talking about. And people might Google it and then search it. So, sticky one.
Do you think it's worth it?
Should we just cut the whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's
Should we
worth
just restart?
Do you know what it was about?
Just bleep it.
Do you know what it was? So you don't know what
Do you know what
it was?
we're talking
Okay,
about?
See, bro.
You got no idea.
Come on, bro.
You might remind me.
No, don't remind him.
Okay, wow, leave it in.
If you could just come in your mind,
Calm.
do you know what it is?
No, the fact that you don't know is perfect.
It's good, yeah.
No.
Bro, cut it out, man. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying, isn't it? So on today's episode of Chai with my Bhai, which is, my favorite show to record because it's just so relaxed, casual. I'm not standing. I don't have to, roast anyone. It's just nice, relaxed vibes, chilling,
What about when you're driving?
Chai. True, ride out. But I haven't recorded ride out in a couple of months now, so kind of forgot what it's like to record ride out. I haven't recorded ride out for months.
Oh, you mean when this video will come out?
Even right now. It's been months, right?
No?
It's
It's been weeks.
It's been a month.
Yeah, just over a month now. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, fine.
Months. 1 month.
Well, no.
It's been 1 month since we last recorded an episode of Ride Out. So, without further, are you right?
Yeah.
Okay, you seem bare sad. You're just busy.
No, I was reflecting on something I just read.
SubhanAllah, do you want to share it?
It's relevant to the episode, so I'll bring it in.
Do you want to introduce the show?
Okay. You sure, yeah?
Yeah.
So, in today's episode, we are going to be... What was the topic again? Oh, yeah. Respecting your elders and having mercy on your youngsters. And obviously, this is rooted in the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where he said, they are not from us. Those who don't show respect to the elders and those who don't show mercy to their youngers.
Yep.
So, since we have our elders on the table, and we also have but you're 96, but you're early 96. You're September 96.
August.
Okay, so you're 2 months older than me. So as the younger here, show a bit of mercy to man, innit?
Someone posted on Instagram. I think Suleiman posted on Instagram solo. I don't really know what it was. He was sharing something, but he had a caption. And so the problem is that the people over 25 just don't speak to the youngers anymore.
It was, Bilal, Beard Over Bar.
Beard over bar. He was
See
sharing
his video
something.
about when he chatted to the youngers on his block.
Yeah.
And
So, and then Suleiman shared it, Barakallah, that's what it was. And then that hit me, man. I was like, you know what it is? There's no passion from the elders. I actually don't even want to talk about the respect element today. That's ma'aroof and it's there. But I want to talk about, we can't talk about it, but I think we always remind the youngers, respect the elders, but we don't remind the elders to have
That's a
mercy
big
on
part
the
of the
youngers.
discussion we need to have.
Yeah. And part of mercy to them is to speak to them, advise them, take your time out for them. You know what I'm saying? When you look at people who had elders in their life, wallahi, they come out very well. They come out very well. People who had elders that are reaching out to them.
You mean like mentors?
Mentors, or just someone of age advising you. But it could be someone on the block, someone at your workplace, someone in the masjid, but an elder. You know the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-barakatu ma'a akabirikum. The barakah is with the elders. And so for an elder to not want to distribute some of that barakah, wallahi, is very stingy.
it's strange because that also applies not even just in the deen, like even as you mentioned, in the dunya, you find that people who are like on the roads and that, generally speaking, if a guy like a younger has an older who gives him his backing,
They actually use the word older.
Yeah, let's use the word older.
Funny enough, which is
So that
a descriptive
that guy's
word.
my older.
It's not now.
So for example, he'll give him a discount if he's selling drugs, for example, so that younger will make more money. He benefits from having an older.
Yeah.
He will have the older's protection. Someone won't mess with him because why? Oh, that's my man's younger.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with him, otherwise he'll get involved. Do you get it? Like it even benefits from a non-dini perspective. It's crazy.
Even that's such a evil kind of construct that they have in the hood, but
The concept.
the concept is very beautiful. That's why a lot of those guys, when they come to the deen, they actually look at us as elders. They look at us older brothers. You asked me earlier, I just read this athar by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, it touched me. Because, for those of us, I'm reflecting myself because I've been a bit tough with a lot of the youngsters. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you have to be tough. There is a tough love, but, I was saying to Jimmy, I was chatting to him earlier, I was like, the Prophet Asim, he was never tough with his youngsters.
Never.
Anas ibn Malik radiallahu anh said that he served the Prophet Asim for almost a decade, akhi, as a young boy. You must have made mistakes, right?
Oh, naturally.
Can you describe this
the
word?
Prophet-
You just said tough. You mean it harsh, right?
As it, listen. The Prophet Asim, he said the Prophet Asim never once told me off. Okay, one time the Prophet Asim
You mean rebuked?
Yeah, never rebuked him.
Scolded.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
What?
that's different because you can rebuke someone without scolding them.
The one.
Scolding is like almost like you're shouting, telling them off kind of thing. But rebuking is just you're correcting a mistake.
No, but I don't think the Prophet would correct
That's what I'm
mistakes.
saying.
Corrected him. No, I think rebuke is like a tough type. Rebuke is like rebuked.
We're getting
I think what I
definitions.
meant was scolded. Yeah.
Okay.
He never told him off. He was never rough with him. Like,
Yeah.
I'll give an example. One time, Prophet Asim sent Anas to do something, and he started playing with some kids. The Prophet walked past. He saw him playing. He didn't go and do the task. The Prophet was just so merciful to him, so lovely to him. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do you see? And that made me think. We can say whatever. You got to be tough with the youngers.
What did the Prophet do in that situation?
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He just spoke to him in a very lovely way.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? The point I'm making is that we can say, we've got to be tough with them. And it's true, you got to be tough with them. And there are times to be tough. But the default has to be mercy. And I think some people, they are too relaxed. Being relaxed and merciful is different. Like being relaxed kind of might make them take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Some people are trying to
100%.
run away from, I don't want these youngers to take advantage of me and disrespect me. But there's a difference between that and just being tender with them. You know what I'm saying? And this is a reminder to all those who are elders that, might have youngers that they give advice to or da'wah to, or even teachers, or even any elder in the masjid who sees a kid coming to the masjid. Like there's this author from Ibn Abbas. He said, Akramun nasi alay. He said, the most honorable people to me, Jalisi, who comes and sits with me, is alladhi yatakhatta riqab an-nasi ilay. Is the one who crossed through the necks of the people. He passed the people. He went through people to get to me. He said, these are the most honorable people to me. And look what he said. He said, لو استطعت أن لا يقع ذباب عليه لفعلت. He said, if I had the ability to ensure a fly doesn't ever land on him, I would prevent a fly from landing on him. Meaning I would be there to stop a fly from landing on him. Look, he said another way. He said, إن ذباب لا يقع عليه فيؤذيني. He said, if a fly was to land on him, it harms me. It affects me that a fly touched him. Now look at the mercy. Ibn Jama'ah's kitab called Tadhkirat al-Sami', which is a book about the etiquettes of a teacher and the etiquettes of a student. This is part of the etiquettes of a teacher. He mentions, he brought this under the section, the love that a teacher should have for his student. The love that he should have for a student, how he should care for it, be concerned for a student. And that's how Ibn Abbas, you come to me to learn, you've come to ask, you come to benefit. You're the most beloved. I love you. I don't even want a fly to touch you. You know what I'm saying? Kids come to the masjid to learn. Elders are saying, get out of it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Or maybe not even to learn.
Yeah. Brothers are there. Martin is getting told shut up.
I shouldn't have said it, man.
But
Do you think that?
Even
I don't think so.
You think you shouldn't have said shut up?
I don't see that situation. Like I said, there's times where you can be tough. That situation, the kids were fighting each other in the masjid. They were punching each other.
Yeah.
They were punching each other. Raising the voice was not a problem because the Prophet Asim raised his voice at times. His, احمرت عيناه, his eyes would go red. وعلى صوته صلى الله عليه وسلم, he would raise his voice high. كأنه منذر الجيش, as if he was warning of an army. But I think the wording, shut up, wasn't right.
plus also, like some
That was wrong.
Some youth that come to the masjid, like for example, like a dad will bring his 4 or 5 year old child.
Yeah.
He's just gonna be running around playing, enjoying himself, laughing. Maybe and you get some uncles they'll come out like as if he's
smoke like he needs to get out, like the library.
Yeah, like on a mad thing where the child won't even want to come to the masjid anymore. Do you get it? Which at the same time there is a fine line. Like where do you draw the line between making the masjid into a playground,
Yeah.
but at the same time
Making it welcoming
for the kids. Obviously, you got people who are praying. You don't want them to get distracted, so on and so forth. But there has to be like a fine balance. I feel like people are too just like bun the kids.
Bit harsh. Yeah.
Do you get it?
No, but I think that comes from. Oh, assalamu alaikum. I think that comes from. What do you call it? What is
Shall we
it?
fade him in? Like,
Yeah,
from the last
no,
one?
I'll fade out in a bit. It comes from what do you call it? The fact they haven't been brought there that often that the kid will realize, oh, like they're playing salah after. He'll tiptoe around and he'll play around quietly and you know stuff like that.
So you're saying it's a lesson that gets learned eventually?
Yeah, like and not only obviously the family teach him, and I think also maybe it's been mentioned. Allah, I may have missed it, but you know, obviously the hadith I think was brought that the Prophet mentioned that the person he's not from us, the one who doesn't show mercy to those
Who are younger.
or who are younger from us, and he doesn't give the rights of those who are elders of us. From showing the rights, from showing mercy, is also disciplining the child. You know, the Prophet mentioned that teach the child, you know, to get him to pray at the age of 7, and then you know from 10 onwards, if he doesn't pray, then discipline on him praying. From that is mercy. Obviously, not in an oppressive manner, like a zalim, you know, one who oppresses others in that kind of manner, but in a form of discipline, you know, get them, what do you call it, getting onto the salah. That's a form of mercy, even though it includes a form of discipline, but it's still mercy in that form. So, you know, just because it comes in that kind of manner, so it doesn't necessarily mean like mercy, everything has to kind of be, you know, it can't involve discipline in it. It can involve discipline, but it can be mercy as well at the same time.
You know what it is? The Sheikh, just before he mentioned the Athar ibn Abbas, he brought the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And this is a beautiful measure. لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب لأخيه ما يحب لنفسه. None of you truly believe until you love your brother what you love for yourself. So when you speak to a youngster, just ask yourself, you were young one day, would you have love for someone to talk to you like that? If you wouldn't have liked for someone to talk to you like that, like, do you think you would have listened to the advice like that? If someone spoke to you in that way, do you think you would have taken it? Do you think you would have understood?
As in you yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird though, because I can think of times where I was spoken to in a harsh way, where at the time I didn't like it, but looking back at it,
You appreciate it.
I appreciate it because you know what, it sorted me out
Some honesty.
in that time. But there are other times where I wish that they were too relaxed, and I wish that it would have been harsher. It's a
You know
bit
what it
of
is?
a-
That's what I'm saying. It's actually from wisdom, innit? It really is from wisdom.
yeah, that's
to
the thing.
know
It's
when
got a
to
place and
it.
time.
Like there's times when I'm not taking away from being tough. Tough love is important. Especially in this day and age.
That's what I said. It's a form of. It still falls under mercy.
Yeah. Like Ibn Taymiyyah. Do you want to give them an example of Ibn Taymiyyah? What he said about the thob?
Oh, go ahead.
Just give it.
No, go ahead. I don't know.
You know when he said, for example, if I got a thob that I really like and I get a stain on it, if I scrub it hard and rough with it, I'm scrubbing it hard. It's not because I don't love the thob. I actually love the thob. It's not because I don't love it. I love it. I'm scrubbing it out of mercy because I'm trying to clean it.
Was it the thob or was it skin?
The thob. Thob, skin, hand.
I think it was
hand.
skin.
Yeah. It's my skin. I love my skin, but sometimes you got to be tough. But that's not the asl. That's not the default. That's not the default. The default is that, you know, you're there for them, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're there for them, and that's the thing, innit? Like, I feel like a lot of people, you know, when they show that harshness, and I've been not victim, but I've been guilty of this in the past, which is that our harshness is not based on the appropriate place, but our harshness is based on our
Anger.
personal emotion. Yeah.
Anger, yeah.
Like, I'm angry at him. Sometimes you can be angry, but hold it back for his benefit. You know what I'm saying? Hold it back for his benefit because he's not going to learn it right now.
A bit of
You know what I'm
empathy goes
saying?
far, huh?
So I can say?
So the bit of empathy goes quick. It goes,
It
really
goes
far,
very
doesn't
far,
it?
okay,
Yeah.
man. It goes very far. Like, we forgetting it that
You were once in that place.
What's that, man?
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah, that's actually a huge issue. We just forget for people in general.
I think one of the issues that I've seen anyway over the years, when it comes to like being a younger, sometimes you forget people are older than you. You get it? You know, when you're just so relaxed, so used to being with certain people, or whatever, you just forget that, my man's actually older than me. And then, you know, just naturally you wouldn't show that. You know, like, whereas like if you're thinking like, like my uncle, obviously you're going to show. What's funny?
No, sorry. No, go ahead.
I know you're laughing.
No.
But from your uncle, you like, when I say uncle, I mean like, you know, like your dad's older brother, for example. You know, this guy's older than me. You've always known that. There's always been that level of thing there. But like, from like amongst your friends, sometimes there might be some people older than you in that group, but you might not necessarily like be conscious of that or acknowledge it at certain points, and that can be a reason why some people sometimes find it hard to have the mercy thing towards the youngers, because the younger sometimes forget. You know how the same way, like the same way how Ustad said it all those years ago in the marriage class of Zara, where the husband wants respect from the wife, and the wife wants love from the husband, and each one fuels the other. So the wife shows more respect to her husband, the husband shows more love to her. Because he's showing more love to her, she's more. It's like, what's it called? Like infinite. It's just gonna keep increasing if you keep doing it. If she keeps showing respect, he's gonna keep showing more love. More respect, more love. More respect, more love. And I feel like the same thing can also apply between the elder and the younger. If the younger shows respect, he'll get mercy in return. Because he's getting that mercy in return, he'll show more respect. Because he's getting more respect, he'll show more mercy. Do you get it? It's just like not infinite regress. What's it called? I don't know what it's called, but it's just called like.
But the thing is, you have to understand whether they show it or not. You still have to give them their right. That's their right.
Yeah,
especially as an older as well. Especially someone's older, regardless of how he treat you or not. You have to.
Why do you say especially if he's older? Why are they not equal?
No, they are.
No, even to young as well.
Oh, okay.
For a person to show mercy.
But just generally, not like even you mentioned at the beginning that we stress more.
No. The reason I stress more on that because you hear a lot of people say now, why should I respect someone? He hasn't done nothing for me to respect him. Like it's given. It's like give and take kind of
What's
thing.
he ever done for me?
Yeah, to get respect, you earn respect. That's the saying as goes kind of thing. It's true. It's true, but regardless whether or not, that still is right.
So right,
even if he acts ignorant, why not you just keep it moving? Now go out of the way and abuse the old person. What do you call it? That's it. Like so. That's why I mean it. Like it's like. Because it's even in cultures and whatnot, there's that respect. But you hear people like, age doesn't mean anything. You have to earn my respect. You hear people kind of, especially a lot of young people.
Do you completely reject that idea?
Yes.
The earning part.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You completely reject it.
Yeah, I reject it.
In totality.
The only respect there is
whether he earns it or not. Because if he
no, I'm not talking about taking it away. I'm saying
it's his right. I'll give him his right.
No, say for example, there's someone who let's say you're giving all the rights that needs to be given, and there's someone who they're doing something that you respect, like you admire, and as a result you show them more respect because of the respect.
No, of course, your veneration will grow for the individual who.
So you think that's okay?
What, as in the more respect?
Yeah. No,
that grows with. Especially if the person conducts himself in a manner which is respectable, you respect them even more.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Also, when you meet generally someone's older than your uncle, how you doing? That's generally. After that, if he behaves in a manner which is, you feel
something
like he
you
drops
admire, do you think you would show him more respect?
Yeah.
And you don't reject that.
No. I think what you were saying was that you wouldn't not respect
that's what
someone
I'm saying.
because
if
they're not showing mercy.
I'm not saying taking it away. I'm saying would you add extra?
If like I'm the message, like and like the manner that it's done in. Maybe I was talking to someone or whatever, and shh, hey, whatever. I don't take offense to it. Okay, well, the manner that was said, I understand where he's coming from in the message. You know what? Jazakallah, uncle, thank you. Just keep it. Take on the chin.
Whereas opposed to, for example, someone else came, sat next to you, saying, how you doing? You're right, alhamdulillah.
But
you know what? One thing I came across a narration about raising your voice in the message. SubhanAllah, blew my mind when I was younger. So I thought maybe you might benefit. It takes time out, speaks to you, but naturally for that person, you're gonna have a greater level of respect than someone. But either way, you give them both respect.
Of course, yeah.
Purely because
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Should we conclude? Should we conclude?
What's the end?
Should we be quiet? So I just assume should we just conclude?
No.
How have we reached the end?
Nothing I wanted to mention is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "You're leaving, yeah?"
We should get a picture of him just doing that.
That's gonna be
Put that on the set.
That's stuff. You can't take pictures of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كذلك كنتم من قبل فمن الله عليكم. Allah said, like that, you used to be like that before. When you look at these youngsters and the way they behave in the masjid or in the community or on the block, Assalamu alaikum. Allah said, like that.
He's even ready to go. He's got his jacket, his hat, everything. Literally, he's a bee.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, like that, you used to be like that before. You know what I'm saying? فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He bestowed His blessing upon you. Sa'di has a nice commentary on the ayah. He said, the way you are now, you weren't always like this. You know, when you're dealing with people, you weren't always like this, bro. You used to be very deficient. People used to talk to you, remind you. You never used to listen. You used to listen to the same advice and turn your back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding you to remember your original situation.
Yeah.
Now you're this complete Muslim, Allah barik.
Yeah.
Before you weren't. You used to make the same excuses. You used to say the same dumb things. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, shay'an fa shay, gradually you got better.
Yeah.
And like that, gradually they'll get better. Gradually they'll get better as well. And it should push you to be wise and nice to them and you're dealing with them. And the same way Allah guided you, you can guide them. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important, man. It's important. You know, even just generally, a hadith of mercy, generally, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man la yarham la yurham, or kama qal. Whoever doesn't show mercy will not receive mercy.
Very interesting.
Whoever doesn't show mercy doesn't receive mercy. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in another hadith, Irhamu. Be merciful to one another. The one who's in the sky will be merciful back to you.
Yes.
As the one who's above the sky. Allah, Ar-Rahman, will be merciful to you if you're merciful to those around you.
Yeah.
So if you're lacking mercy in your life and, you know, whatever, maybe you're not merciful to people around you.
Where do you draw the line between being merciful and
being lenient,
being a mug?
Being a mug.
I say, for example, let's just say that you've employed a younger brother, for example. He's messing up, not doing his job, this, that, whatnot. You advise him, you set him targets, you try and help him, support system in place, this, that. Like, where do you draw the line where it's just like, bro, like,
taking liberties.
It's not
now.
mercy anymore. It's like you're just taking my blood. Like, do you get it?
But it is mercy.
As in, it would be mercy and praiseworthy to just keep the guy on, let him mash up the thing.
Well, you know what it is, bro? Like, because we're talking about a situation that we've really been in, innit? We've actually been in
Quite a
this
few times,
situation.
yeah.
We're still in. I've said, you know, we have these youngers that come, and over time you have to.
Yeah, many times, of many people.
But I'm saying.
So where do you draw that line now? Where it's just like,
that's what I'm saying.
Enough's enough now,
No,
innit?
but that's what I'm saying. I think apart, like, so what if you get taken for a mug? So what if you get taken for a mug?
No, but when I say taken from a mug, as in what I mean is, as in there's
Harm.
actual harm. There's a shut and harm coming.
Okay, so here's the thing.
It's affecting.
No, here's the thing.
You, your company.
That's different now. Okay, you see.
That's what I mean.
You know, a person should be like very a Muslim. Allah said, Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, messenger of Allah. وَالَّذِينَ مَعَهُ أَشِدَّاءُ عَلَى الْكُفَّارِ. The ones with him, i.e. the companions, are very tough with the kuffar.
Yes.
رُحَمَاءُ بَيْنَهُم. They're very merciful amongst themselves. Take advantage of me, bro, no problem. I'll turn the other cheek. Go on. I
disagree with that.
No, I have just... let me position it in a particular way.
Go on.
If there's no loss to me, and, you know, I'll let you take advantage.
I think you're talking about situations where
that's
it's
different.
only your pride.
I'm not talking about...
It's only
I'm not talking about there's no loss.
I'm going to mention something. The point at which I would take issue with letting it slide is if I genuinely believe it's bad for him to get away with this. As in, if all you're doing is harming me...
And then the hammer drops.
Sorry again? Yeah, no, that situation...
So as long as it's not harming the person, but it's harming you'd be okay with it.
As in, if it's not... I also...
And to what level would it harm? Like, as in, imagine you can't pay rent now because the guy's just...
But that's
mashing the thing up.
But that's what I'm saying, innit? Like, there's so many ways around it, innit? Like, remember there was one brother that used to work for us, okay? And really, he should have got asked to leave a long time before he actually left.
I know what you're talking about.
And we had a discussion and we decided to not fire him. But we said what we're going to do is we're going to create a situation to help him improve. We're going to do everything that we could in our power so that the day if he ends up finally leaving, we can say we don't feel any doubt about it.
Okay, you're talking about someone else, but now I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As in, we don't feel any certain type of way about it.
Yeah.
So every time he'd come with an excuse, what would we do? We'd say, okay, no problem. I'll make sure that's not an excuse for you anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. As in, like,
Until
it gets to a point where
until
it's just like,
he came and he
No,
said
say it, hard
he
on
came
the
and said,
ear,
you know, bro, my bad. I'm terrible. You guys done everything. I'm gonna leave. Does that make sense? Otherwise, like, we've had brothers though. Like, here's what the reason I'm saying this is because I've had brothers that did work with us who were terrible. Their character was poor. Their work ethic was disgusting, and we were within our rights to say goodbye. Somebody fell off the deen, bro.
but is that our fault?
And is that
No.
a lack of mercy?
No,
And is that because of a lack of
no,
mercy?
but I think where I can take the hit as much as I can, I would like to take it and let him learn his lesson from someone else, if not me. Because I remember there was one time, there's a situation, yeah.
Is that mercy on him though? Because
Say
he's
again?
gonna learn that lesson. Like at least you get
So
to control
I
how
gi-
he's treated.
No, I'll
in
give
a
you an
sense.
example. Like, there was one situation, yeah, where there's one brother done something wrong. I really wanted to pull him up on it. I wanted to show him, bro, you can't get away with this. You have to learn. You know what I'm saying? You're dealing with people in a bad way, and he dealt with me in a bad way, in a business level, yeah. And I wanted to show him, bro, you can't get away with the world like this. So I remember when we come to Ustad, I said, Ustad, I'm going to tell the brother. He's like, no, don't, trust me. It's going to push him further away. It's going to push him further away. I said, but Ustad, he's going to do this to other people. Ustad said, yeah, he is, and let them teach him the lesson. But you being in the da'wah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's really specific to you.
Yeah.
though, innit?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying, like,
specifically,
you know,
yeah.
the same way like you said the other day as well. Like, and even generally, the reason why you don't really deal with the corporate side of things because it just doesn't make sense. Like, 1 minute you're helping a guy with
Down,
his
man.
problems, you're the
And he
shoulder
takes
to
his
cry
hat off
on,
and he put
giving
on his
advice. And next minute you're just tough and rough. So that I understand, but I'm just talking about for like a general person
Normal
watching at
person,
home. Like, what are the sort of principles that they need to go
Like even
by?
parents, for example, they're the most merciful to their children. Who's going to be more merciful
Yeah.
to you
And
than
you
your
know,
own mum?
I-
But there's a limit she has as well.
I-
You
it
It
can't
just brings
you
to
can't
mind
take
the,
Nick for that long.
the Ibn Taymiyyah thing where
No, but my point is
you're scrubbing it for the benefit.
Okay, look, I heard something from a kafir, yeah, one time, which I thought was quite profound, yeah, and it was in similar context. He said, if you want to let someone go, like for example, yeah, say you have an employee, he's a young brother, you're trying to give him a chance, but he's doing terrible, yeah. If you want to let him go, just make sure that you did everything on your end to try to help him in it,
That's true.
yeah, so that.
Don't leave any room for you to be put under
Do you
pressure or
understand? Like
scrutiny.
my ethos is the moment you can even point a finger at me, I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop it right there. I want to create a situation until there are no fingers pointing at me.
Okay.
You tell me, oh, it wasn't clear. Okay, no problem. How can I make it clear for you? I'm gonna walk away. Okay, how can we make it clear for you next time, brother? You tell me how you want it to be clear. Oh, I would like a
Written
task
notification
management
or
app.
whatever.
Okay, it's gonna be in there for you. He says to me, okay, I saw task management app, but you sent it to me an hour before. Okay, no problem. So how much in advance do you need it to be? A day. Okay, it will be there a day before. Oh, you made a mistake. What excuse do you have now? I was sick today. No problem. No problem. Sick is reasonable excuse.
Yeah.
You can get off fasting if you're sick. No problem. You know what I'm saying? But it won't happen again. It happened next day. What happened? I forgot. Anything that I'll still ask him, and we do. Anything we could do to help you not forget? Could you remind me that? Okay, you want me to remind me to give you to look at the reminder that I set? Okay, no problem. I'll set a reminder on my phone, or you set a reminder. We'll have someone his job to remind him. Does that make sense? And eventually through that, then it's like, okay, bro, can we not remind you anymore? Can you know what I'm saying? Because you know what it's like, a lot of times with these youngers, if we let them off, like I also know they're gonna go back to uni where the iman might slip up, they're gonna go get a job somewhere. And that's not merciful. Like, as in there's a lot at stake in it. Like they're gonna end up we've seen them a lot
I
of
think that's the difficult thing, innit? When you're trying to run a hybrid da'wah / corporate organization where
Sounds a very specific situation. You guys
that's what I'm saying. This is a very specific
very
situation
specific.
where I don't think it would apply generally speaking to
No,
most
but I
people.
think a lot of people like you should never underestimate the lasting impressions that you can have on people in terms of your negative
that's
dealings with them.
absolutely true. There's no
There are
doubt
people
about
walking
that.
around. Like for example, I had an assist session with a sister the other day, yeah, and she's absolutely convinced that she's ugly, and it breaks her that no man finds her attractive. So I was like, what proof do you have that you're ugly? What proof do you have that no man finds you attractive? How do you know no man finds you attractive? She says, my nose. So what's wrong with your nose? She's like, trust me. Yeah. I said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Who told you yours? She goes, I got bullied for it for 5 years.
5 years ago or 4 or 5
No,
years?
for 5 years when she was a kid.
Like in secondary
She's
school.
late in her 20s now.
Oh snap!
So I said
deep.
to her, I said, sister, Do you think does my nose look abnormal? I got bullied for it for 5 years as well. I actually got bullied in school for my nose. You know what I'm saying? Alhamdulillah, I'm different though, in a sense where I got some tough skin and I won't let it settle. Her, it's settled. So, some kids are having a joke, having a laugh at your expense. So one day someone makes a joke, oh, nose, and he just catches. Like there was a kid who was not gay in school, but everyone said, oh, he's gay. And then he became gay for the next 4 years.
Really?
No,
I
he
mean-
mean like that was his label. That was.
But he's not gay.
Oh.
Yo, you're gay. Matthew, you're gay, huh? Like I'm saying.
Well, I had Matthew in my school was always calling him gay, but he wasn't gay.
Yeah.
Yo,
so-
what about that kid in your school? You know. never
So,
mind,
so
sorry.
my point is that, but my point is though, my point is though, that'll have a lasting effect in it. Like that, you did it as a joke. You didn't even mean anything by it, but it destroyed him. Like another kid, you might sack him in a tough way, in a harsh way.
You know what I
But
think as well is
It might put him off the deen. Like as a practicing person, you think about it. Yeah? Let me ask you a question: is it true that practicing people are deceitful?
no.
Is it true that practicing people they betray you when it comes to financial transactions or whatever have you?
You as in wait, are you asking? Do you know people who are practicing who do it? Or are you asking just generally?
Are they more
as
likely?
general rule.
Are they more likely? Yeah, as a general rule. as a
Like,
general
what would you think?
Yeah. No. Not
yeah,
what you think. I'm asking, is it true? Is it true that
I would
generally
believe
speaking,
that generally speaking that they are truthful.
they are truthful and they are merciful
they're
and whatever have you?
Yeah.
But have you seen amongst people who are not that practicing, they'll say, trust me, I'm practicing people will lie, man. They're deceptive.
They're the worst ones.
They're the worst ones. Why did they say that? You know
I
why?
mean, I haven't really heard that. that often.
It's bad impressions, isn't it?
Okay,
I haven't really heard
I've
that.
heard it loads of times. You know why? Because you might have dealt with them in a tough way or in a negative way, and that will remain in their mind for the rest of their life.
Is that
the
shortcoming on your part?
Say that again?
Is that shortcoming on your part?
What do you mean? On the part of the guy who interpreted it like that?
Yeah, like, isn't that like
Of
them?
course,
Like,
of course it is, but that's the point. That's the point, is that you know these are people's weaknesses. And we shouldn't age shaitan. We shouldn't age
No,
shaitan
I think
against
what
his
he's
brother.
trying to say is no matter how nice you were with them, they would still
No,
find
no,
a
no,
way.
no.
no, I think there is a
convolute
certain level
No, I'm
of.
saying, I'll give an example. Yeah, there was
But like, you have to like, in order to do what you're doing, you have to take humility to another level.
So yes, what?
Which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a
Sorry?
hard thing.
What?
I said in order to achieve what you're saying, which
Yeah.
is to leave a positive effect on every single individual that you come into contact with, you would have to have like next level humility, which is
It's
a
not-
good thing. It's praiseworthy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I remember something Ustad said. He said the believers should be like, walk over me. Should be like, don't worry, walk over me, bro. It's calm.
Is there delil for that? That you should be like to let
Bro,
people
how
walk
about-
over you?
No.
But I'm saying I believe there's a difference between walk
Like
over
I said,
me and-
not to the point where you're getting oppressed. I'm
Yeah.
not to the point where you're getting. When I say oppressed, meaning like, of course, it's oppression for someone to deal with you in a bad way and you to just leave them.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about for this oppression to be limiting now. You know what I'm saying? It's like maybe giving you mental health issues,
Yeah.
maybe it's destroying your life. But bro, I have some people that are like, bro, like for example.
So you're saying let it carry on if it's doing those things, or you're saying
if
those
it's
things
not,
are like
that's different. That's
where it's like, bro, leave me alone now.
that's a great harm. But even
Okay.
then, deal with it in a certain way. But
Of
I mean,
course,
like,
yeah.
for example, my point is, bro, as much as you can, just allow it. You know what? Every time
Yeah.
I go through Twitter and I see the maddest stuff, I always just say, Allah forgive him. I even want to wait for the day of judgment for that reward. But I can't. You know, I can't get the goodies
What
if I
do you
forgive
mean?
them.
Oh, you mean if people talking about you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't get the rewards if I
Forgive them.
If I forgive them.
yeah.
But I just forgive them.
If
Because
you're watching right now and you've ever backbitten Imran on Twitter or any other platform,
there's another reward that you can get, which is the
He
reward of
forgives you.
ihsan, the reward of goodness. Remember there was that man who the Prophet ﷺ said he's the person from Jannah. And then Abdullah ibn Amr used to worship Allah all night and fast all day. He was like, what does this man do to get to Jannah? I'm trying to get to Jannah. So he followed him for a few days. And he said, what do you do? He didn't seem to do anything out of the extraordinary. He said, all I know is that before I go to sleep, I forgive everyone. And that was the reason. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's mercy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to be merciful to the people. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Prophet is the best example. Look at Yusuf. Yusuf's the best example. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about Yusuf.
you know,
Brothers came to him after they violated him, bro. You know, he said, لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. He said, what? لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. He said, there's no blame on you today. He didn't even say, I forgive you. I'm saying, I forgive you. Yusuf's better than me. You know what Yusuf saying? He said, there's no blame on you. You didn't do anything wrong. They threw him in the well, separated from his dad. He ended up in jail. He said, no blame on you today. You know, but here's the thing is that you in your mind think that if I allow people to violate me, I'm a mug. What you don't realize is, man tawadda'a lillah, whoever is humble for Allah's sake, rafa'ahu. Allah will lift him. Did Allah not lift Yusuf? Can anyone dare say Yusuf alayhi salam got taken from a mug? Waliyadu billah.
No, I wouldn't say it's just necessarily just the issue of being a mug. I think it's also the issue of, like people, because of someone else, you yourself are being held back. Your own potential is being held back because of someone else.
That's different. That's different. Like for example,
that's what I'm.
Like for example, I have kids that are trying to holler at me for advice, but I need to study. And I'm sorry, I can't help you at the expense of helping myself.
Exactly.
That's why I said as much as you can.
Exactly. And you know what it is? I think another thing that goes hand in hand.
I don't know if I'm not sure because that's not clear. There's no actionable points that someone can take from that. Like the religion is very good at defining things. Like this is the had for this, and this is the how far this goes, and there's lines that are drawn.
No, I'm saying
And
from the
saying
angle of
as far
justice,
as
there
you
are
can,
no, but that's what I'm
that's
saying.
not really
But
clear for everyone.
I'm saying there's justice. There is lines. There is justice. Like for example, like, I'll give you an example. Yeah, if we have a transaction, there's something called khiyarul majlis.
Okay.
There's something called khiyarul majlis, which is basically the time to rescind the transaction.
Yeah.
Which is I sell you something. There is a time in which you could say, brother, I don't want it anymore. Basically what you would call a refund. I don't really want to use the term refund because it's a little bit more nuanced, our version of it, than the kuffar's version of it. Yeah. So there are different types of khiyar. There are different types of refunds. Yeah. One such type is called khiyar al-majlis, which basically means that we are in the same gathering. I sell you this phone. You give me the money. I've given you the phone.
And before you leave.
Yeah. Before you... As long as me and you don't leave, any one of us can say, bro,
can reverse the transaction.
Reverse transaction.
Whether you've written a receipt, whether you've
Yeah.
signed a contract, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because you're still there.
As long as you don't leave the gathering. The moment he leaves the building, it's gone. If he stays in the building with me for 2-3 days, he stays in this room for 2-3 days. He doesn't leave me. 2-3 days it lasts for. The moment he leaves,
Like it's for example, if you sell something someone at the beginning on the first 10 on the first of the 10 days and on the last of the 10 days you can reverse transaction.
Yeah.
Cool.
So now look at this, yeah? If he comes to me after he's left and says, Akhi, can I get a refund?
Are you allowed to sell in the masjid?
No, you're not allowed to sell it in the
Yeah,
masjid, yeah.
No, I was using the timing as
The
well
time.
because you're
So-
straight in the same space.
so-
like
so-
camping, for example.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. Come on.
It was just the.
Just threw that out there.
Jazakallah khair. So barakallah fiik, slip me as well. I'm saying so now he comes back to me after he's left the gathering and he asks for a refund. Is it his right to receive one?
No. It's not his right to receive one.
Say again?
It's not his right to receive
It's not his right. But there's something called iqala. But the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, iqala is that even though it's not your right, I give it to you anyway. I said, no worries, take the money, akhi. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, what will happen? In return, if you do iqala for a believer, if you rescind him his transaction when he's not deserving of it, Allah will rescind you, i.e., He will excuse you for your sins in the day of judgment.
That's big, man.
Do you understand?
That's big.
So, and that's why
that's just changed everything I do with cinema refunds.
but I mean, we discussed this before, right? It just hit now.
No. But this specific dalil you just mentioned, we didn't.
That's why, bro. We like people violate us with the refunds. The MSG Muslim Survivor Guide. A day before they ask for a refund, what do we say? Take it.
Yeah.
Perhaps Allah will give us Jannah because of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't know how it's for you.
I don't think we should publicize that because there might be people watching and thinking,
that's it. You know what? Now all the money that I've ever put in,
so maybe we'll just.
But do you know what? Do you know why I'm not even stressed? It's because I believe they will be merciful in return, and if they're not, then I have Allah's mercy, inshallah. But my
maybe look like a villain there, but you know what?
No, you're not a villain. I'm trying. It seems like I'm some nice guy. Trust me, I'm so bad. But these are things that I'm trying to, like, these are narrations that I'm mentioning.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to implement in my life. You know what I'm saying? The point I was mentioning was that's as far as I can. Do you know what I'm saying? But now, for example, if I got a guy who's actually stealing my money, as far as I can excuse him, I'd like to say I'd forgive him, until I get to a point where it's not affecting my ability to feed my family, or it's really hindering my progress. I'm gonna have to now say, Akhi, sorry, Akhi, this is a bit. I feel shy to pull you up on it, but you're kind of like stealing from me. I'd like to think that I'd speak like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, just kind of allow it now, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What you don't understand in this whole equation is that when Allah sees you be like that leniency towards Him, you don't think Allah's going to be lenient back to you? That's the point.
100.
Is that we are always violating the rights of Allah But then we have the cheek every day to say astaghfirullah. And ghafar Allah. Allah, He forgives us. And then the next, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I think is very closely connected to mercy. This is something that I personally feel like I fall short on, or like I am quite deficient in, is having a high tolerance for maybe I don't know what the right word to use would be. Maybe like incompetence, perhaps, is to have a high tolerance for it. Like me, I've got a very low like. As soon as things start, like, I just feel like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, and that does annoy me sometimes.
I annoys me too, bro. 100%. I'm with you.
Like, that's just one thing that I just can't stand. Especially, one thing I hate more than anything else is feigned incompetence.
Yeah.
That
Explain what that means.
Feigned is like you're putting on incompetence
when you can do it.
Yeah, like the most simplest thing. Someone's telling me, I don't know how to do it. And you're just like, bro, what? Like that.
Just think about it.
It would be bad enough for you to actually be incompetent, but the fact that you're no, it's not even that. It's something I don't know. I feel like people know they can do it, but either they're just too lazy to do it, or they just for whatever reason, and they just feign incompetence. That irks me off even more. But just going back to the issue of mercy, I just feel like it's very important to have a high threshold of tolerance for incompetence or whatever it might be, whatever the right word is for what I'm thinking of. Hopefully, I think you guys understand what I'm referring to. And that will basically allow you to, and I guess
it's different. Like, you know, if you're running like a big company, corporate world, I mean, the kind of people applying for the job are going to be a different kettle of fish as it is anyway. We're not a big corporate company. We're a da'wah organization. Really, we should be functioning as a charity. I don't necessarily function as a business because the charity commission might shut us down.
No.
So, we're a da'wah organization at the end of the day. We don't have a great budget. We'd love to hire the great managing, experts of the world and the great, administrators of the world. But unfortunately,
we just hire youngers who we give da'wah to who need a job.
We need a job, but the thing, but that's what I'm saying. So we have
literally, it's exactly what we do.
But even then,
that is our hiring process.
No, but
the times we have tried to hire online, we've ended up with spies from MI5 coming to our office and hacking our Facebook and running ads promoting their Snapchat. All sorts of mad things like.
Remember the one brother who came here?
I still remember the guy sat me down and goes, "So, it's the first day I've ever met this guy. Sat down. We went for lunch. So what do you think about jihad?" I was just like, "What?"
I was like,
whoa, like
bait is fed in my life,
bro. This was just like, I was just like, okay, guys, sorry, we have to terminate this interview right here, right then. No, not interview. It was like a probation period, whatever it was, a trial. So yeah, sorry, we have to terminate it there and then.
Well, like I remember Abu Bakr Islam messaged me, said, what's the Snapchat you're running ads for on your Facebook?
Like, yeah, because basically we hired a guy to run Facebook ads, and we gave him access to the account, which was Imran's the actual Dawah page, Facebook page. Yeah. So we didn't give him the job. Anyway, he was the same guy who was asking about the jihad, and that's what all the guys were Buki. So we didn't give him the job, and then a day or two later, there's ads running on the account.
A month or two later.
Was it that long?
Yeah, it was a long time.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Remember, it was £90, up to £90 the guys.
I don't remember. All I remember is the guy basically just set up ads
for his own personal
He made himself an admin.
No, we made him an admin.
Oh, we made him an admin.
But we didn't remove his adminship of the page.
Was that the first and last time you ever tried to outsource?
No.
No, I mean,
there was one guy, to be honest, we had brother Hisham, Allah Barik, was a lovely brother, Allah Barik.
He was a lovely brother. I don't remember what happened with him.
Hisham, Allah Barik. No, remember, we couldn't afford him. Remember?
Oh, yeah, he was coming through with strategies.
Yeah, Hisham, lovely, Allah Barik. Noble brother, man.
Allah Barik.
Yeah, sure him. Like, we're in a bit of a better position, aren't it?
Why not?
Really?
Yeah, why not? But I think he's a big guy. You know what? Allah Barik, that brother, a very intelligent guy.
Yeah.
He's got a lot going on for himself.
But yeah,
he's going to come with them corporate figures now. He's sure, brother. 70k, yeah. I said, brother, 70k. You almost gave me a
You want
heart
my blood?
attack.
You want my blood?
Yeah, I don't even know my blood's worth that much. You know what I mean? My blood got oil in them things. In it. Point is though, you know what it is? Just remember, like, I feel like, you know, the Prophet Asim, he
Sallallahu
never
alaihi
got
wasallam.
angry for himself, innit?
Mm.
He got angry when Allah's boundary was overstepped.
Mm.
So
That's the thing, innit? We
yeah.
get more annoyed
for
over
ourselves.
personal issues than we do
Yeah.
over deen issues.
Like if someone done something wrong or something stupid, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would always be merciful with them, and his mercy would be tender, but it would manifest in a tough way, still mercy, but in a tough way when Allah's boundary was overstepped. You know, and even then, when Allah, you know, sometimes what we do is, you know, when there's an innovator, so you know you could be tough with him.
Yeah.
What we do is we try to use the religion to bring out our, you know, like our corruption in our heart. Like for example, you want to backbite the person, but you can't. But he's an innovator, so you use that as an opportunity to backbite him. Or for the sake of, like, you want to be cruddy with someone.
Yeah.
So it's been a minute, you ain't scrapped someone. So now someone violates you, want to teach him a religious lesson, but really you're talking to him like you're on road, where you're actually letting your, you know, like that inner filth that you have come out. Well, that is very bad. It's very bad.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? I actually deeped it the other day. In that podcast that you asked, alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful for the tarbiyah that we received. You know, with these innovators and these refutations. Alhamdulillah, like we don't take personal attacks on people. We don't mock people. You know what I'm saying? Like in our refutations. There might be things that we said whilst bringing it out where it just qadarullah happened to be funny. Like maybe a person made such a bad mistake that, okay, you might chuckle when you hear the mistake being brought out. But there was no, we don't make fun of people, their personalities, their characters.
Like ad hominem attacks.
Ad hominem attacks. Their, you know, like Ibn Taymiyyah said, you know, a seb, you know, insulting and a shatm. These are things that anyone can do. Like really, it's about text, you know what I'm saying? And that separates Ahlul Sunnati wal Jama'ah from Ahlul Bid'ah. But some Salafi brothers, they, you know, start to mock and...
Yeah. Obviously, you just mentioned it. It comes from a position of ignorance.
From position of ignorance, yeah. And also, like, you know, like there's a brother who's kind of violating you. You're saying, oh, I'm angry at him for the sake of Allah. But the thing is, the Prophet would never speak like that.
See, that's actually a very good.
That's something like that. Shut up.
It leads me on to the next point, which is that...
I'm so sorry. Can I just say one thing as well? Which I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then I want to bring it to you. And then, because I wanted to mention this earlier, and I wasn't sure if I should say this, but I think it would be good to say it. Yeah. Another thing that kind of is connected to this, but not really connected, but I think is good to mention, is that, like, recently, because I clocked in it, like, you know, when you're trying to balance the text in your life, you can fall into extremes, you know what I'm saying? So I was at a stage I was being very open, and then I was at a stage where I was being very tough, very harsh, you know what I'm saying? With people, you know what I'm saying? And recently, I'm, you know, just the more of the Prophet ﷺ's hadith that you learn, the more his sunnah that you study, and the more that you live with the Prophet ﷺ through his teachings, you start to get closer towards that balanced point. You know what I'm saying? You just draw ever so closer every time you carry on studying it. So I've really been battling with that concept of, like, have I been approaching things a bit wrong? I don't want anyone to for a second think that I'm not going to shout. I will shout. Shouting has got nothing to do with being merciful. With not being merciful, sorry. I'm talking about my personal dealings with people. I'm talking about my dealings with, for example, Johnny, for example. Like, I'm talking about my dealings with Jimmy, for example. Like, sometimes I can be, to me, it's him, I'm calm with him, to be honest. I mean, you ain't got no excuse, brother. But I'm talking about, like, maybe you, for example. Like, my dealing with people who are closer to me. Like, how am I dealing with them? You know what I'm saying? Because it's easy to be nice to people outdoors, but to people here. So there was a video where some, you know, one of these, like, guys who, you know, one of these Spubs guys, he made a video, and he was just taking some ad hominem attacks or whatever have you, and he's a lot of misrepresentation, you know what I'm saying? A lot. I actually only saw the video because some brother responded to it and he sent it to me, and I thought, what is this? So I looked at it, and qadar Allahu ma sha fa'al. It was nice of him to, you know, to try to defend me, but I don't advise any brothers to waste their time trying to defend me. It's better to try to spend your time defending the Prophet ﷺ. But anyway, I saw the brother said some things that were just not true. You know what I'm saying? Like that I expose people's sins and this, that, which is just a lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, there was one thing that he said which resonated with me, and it's been ringing in my head for a while. He said, he tells people to shut up in the masjid. He said, have mercy on the youngsters. Now, that I just I couldn't leave it. Personally, I couldn't let that out of my head.
Good. Allah Akbar.
I couldn't let that out of my head
Yeah,
because the tarbiyah that we always received, and I think it's interesting because there was an Instagram clip of Ustad Abdurrahman. Maybe we should play it right now. Play it right on the AMU. Where it was an Instagram clip, and he was saying that it may be that there's an enemy of yours, someone who doesn't like you, and he's criticizing you. But what he's saying could be true.
Sahih, absolutely.
It could be true.
Yeah.
He hates you, yeah. He's got it in for you, yeah. He might be jealous of you, yeah. I'm not saying his brother's jealous of me. I'm not saying he hates me. I'm giving an example that he could be jealous of you. He
And
could
he
hate you.
was making 99 statements that are false, but that
Yeah.
one statement he makes.
But bro,
true,
don't refuse a beneficial advice just because it comes from an enemy.
Don't let your hatred of others turn you away from justice.
From justice, yeah.
Sahih.
I remember used to say, like, may Allah bless the ones who directed me towards my good deeds. So when I said it,
You mean baddies?
so not my bad deeds, sorry, because
Shortcomings.
my mistakes, yeah, my shortcomings. So the reason, when it just hit me, because I feel like it's true. Like I feel like people are attacking me for the shouting thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said earlier, in it, that wherever there is a finger that can be pointed to me, I like to be able to put my
You
hand
accept
up.
it. Fine.
So
that's
my
good.
thing is, they were still gonna criticize me even if I didn't say shut up.
Absolutely.
But my point is that I'm gonna stand before Allah,
Good.
and I have to be able to say, Allah, you know what?
The actions that I could defend, I'm defending them.
Yeah.
The actions that I couldn't defend,
Yeah, I'm saying all of that was right. The shut up, that wording was not good, ya Allah. Because they be
Interesting.
quiet.
It's very interesting.
Because they be
So
quiet.
what you just mentioned is like a umbrella that happens, I think, among practicing people, which is that they find ahkam in the religion and they use them as weapons against each other. So this respecting the elders, having mercy on the youngers, the shut up in the masjid, all these things, they get used as tools against each other. Do you get it? When in reality, as we mentioned previously as well, it may not necessarily be that your intentions are sincere, that you're trying to advise someone for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's say, for example, like, I got younger brothers. I'm the oldest brother in my house. And when my little brothers are violating me, disrespecting me, I don't pull them up and be like, "Fear Allah, I'm older than you." I don't do that because I don't want them to see the religion as a tool that you use against other people. But I could easily do that, even though I'm not really trying to advise. Because if you think about it, if you're really trying to advise someone for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you want them to change so that they are not sinning, remember, it's not about whether or not you get the respect you deserve or whatever. It's not about that. It's about you want to stop them from committing haram, right? If that's the case, why would you stop them like that? When you're in a fit of anger and everything's going on and the guy's whatever he's saying to you, and now you want to advise. Okay, you want to be the advisor today, yeah? But in reality, it's got nothing to do with that. It's because you're personally offended. It's your emotions that are reacting, but you're using the deen as a shield to protect yourself from any criticism that somebody might bring to you, like, you're advising me the wrong way, but all that stuff's put aside because now I'm using deen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, and it's evil that they do that. Or like, you're using something so pure, the deen of Allah, for your own personal agendas.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's very sad. Parents do it to their kids.
Yeah.
Hey, shave your beard. Obey me, I'm your mum. Husbands tell their wives, hey, I'm your husband, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Obey me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, husbands will beat their wives and use the religion to try to
There you
justify
go.
it.
Good
Beat a
examples,
black and
yeah.
blue, try to use the religion to justify it.
Basically, what you just described are like hierarchies, isn't it? And I think instead, I don't know who mentioned it earlier, which is like an employee, for example, or like somebody in a position of authority, a position of respect. If you have to turn around and not show mercy to the youngers because I'm scared of being taken as a mark, that's actually, even if you don't accept it, that's like a sign of insecurity.
Yeah.
A king doesn't have to say he's a king. Do you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have to remind you, hey, I'm the king. He doesn't have to do that. Because you should have set up ways that prevent this from happening in the first place. And even if it does happen, your position, the respect that you have been given in this instance I was talking about, is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not actually something that the people will respect. Whether they respect you or not is irrelevant. That's a position that you've been given divinely. So you shouldn't be there to enforce it. Do you know what I'm saying? It comes from a position of insecurity. You're just trying to, like I mentioned with me being the older brother in my house. If I have to turn around and say, hey, I'm your older brother, even though I don't ever do that, for obviously, like I mentioned, for reasons. But if I had to stop them, in reality, it would be like, wait, I'm older than you and you lot are not respecting me. I want this one up. I want this one up over you. And so I'm going to implement these rules to make this one up happen, even though I haven't done anything. I haven't shown you any mercy to be deserving of this respect. Even though, like I said before, the respect is given to you by Allah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really agree with what you're saying, but I just do want to mention that we don't fall into another extreme, and that is, remember when I said earlier that I would let it go as far as it doesn't become bad for him.
Yeah.
And there are some people that you have to kind of just let him know what time it is,
Yeah.
because it really is going to be self-destructive for him to get away with it.
Yeah.
And if there is someone else that can teach him the lesson, I would rather you learn it from someone else than me. But there are times when he may only learn this from you. For example, a brother, a son, a neighbor, a close friend, someone at your workplace. There may not be anyone else to teach him this lesson. And don't think that in situation, don't be afraid to show him where he's going wrong.
Yeah.
And you know, that there are limits to this. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Just don't fall into the other extreme.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I think that when you can see some, but the difference is, is the person who's being advised can always tell whether it's, I want to use the word genuine, but I don't want to say that. But you know what I mean? The person can tell if you're saying it for them or whether you're saying it out of emotion. I'll give you an example. So a while ago, it was one time when we were out in the Emirates, and one brother, he stopped me and he wanted to chat to me. He was like, and he was just a random brother. Don't speak to him whatsoever. He was actually speaking Arabic. I was trying my best to understand everything he was saying to me. But basically, I was wearing that thobe. You remember that thobe? I don't know.
Sleeping thobe.
Yeah. I was wearing that thobe, and he stopped me and he was there like, "Why are you wearing this?" And I was like, "I'm just chilling." Like,
The book fair.
He was like, "Why are you wearing this?" I was like, "I'm just chilling." Like, you know, I'm just relaxing. Like, I don't
It's one
mind.
of the thobes that you.
I don't mind.
You were
Wait. Just stop. And wallahi, the way he advised me was so beautiful. I cannot fault him. I cannot. Even though it was embarrassing, it hurt inside. Don't get me wrong. That you know, it was noticeable, and it's the kind of thing that someone has to go, "Hey, stop." Do you get it? Like that.
He didn't even speak in English, did he?
He spoke in Arabic, like I said.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that the way he said it made the difference in it. Sometimes it's not about what you say; it's about how you say it. And the way he said it made me go, "Okay, wait, hold on." Not only does he have a point, and I would have accepted if he had a point.
Sometimes it's not about what you say. It's about how you say it.
I would have accepted it even if he shouted, even if he was rude, because I can see where he's coming from. I understand what the point he's making, but the way he said it just made me realize. Actually, wait, it didn't make me realize then, but it emphasized the understanding that I had. That there is wisdom with the elders in it.
Well, that's true, man. Oh, wallahi, akhi. You know what it is though. Wow, wisdom with the elders, wallahi.
You know when you guys are ready to conclude, I'm falling asleep.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
Last thing I just want to say is that when you are with elders,
Mm.
that a lot of elders who don't give mercy to the youngers.
Yeah.
I think some of them maybe didn't spend time, or for a long time haven't spent time with elders who are merciful,
Yeah.
like your
Very
scholars.
true.
One of the things that shocks me, I was just thinking about the other day. Every time I send a message, or Bakr sends a message to Sheikh Asim Qaryooti, Sheikh Albani student, right?
Mhm.
Always responds. Because the guy's a busy man.
Yeah. Not only that, but he's like
He manages
in the world of knowledge. He's like an ocean, and we're like a droplet in that ocean. We're not even important.
He's a very busy man. Like he deals with people's PhD works in the university, authoring books. Like he's a known scholar. Like he's in the scholarly world. But it was peak because it was one time we hadn't spoken to for a few months, and he messaged us on Eid. Saying, "Assalamu alaikum, brothers." Obviously we're speaking Arabic with him, and I'm just translating for people. Like, how are you guys? You go okay? I haven't heard from you in a while, and we were like, "Yo, this is so hype!" Like, the Sheikh, like, and don't think that he's just reaching out to us because we're people in the da'wah, bro. The Sheikh knows people bigger than us in the da'wah, in all over the world, in Malaysia, Indonesia, Africa, people who are actually doing way more work than us, scholars, students of knowledge, people who are gonna run entire institutes. He's got, if he was doing it just to keep people in da'wah close for reward, bro, he's got that. He's got influence over masajid.
Bro, there's people who have come on our Umrah trips who took his number and they asked him questions and he replies. Furthermore, there's sisters who got his contact details. I don't know if it's his email or whatever.
And they're not in that one.
And nah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not
he
in that
replies.
one.
Yeah, they're just sisters who are just Allah barik, they want khair. And you know what it is? It's just lovely, man. Sheikh's lovely, bro. And it just makes you think, like, this is a man who's studying from the Prophet. You know what I'm saying? Some of us will bring the road into the masjid, but they bring the sunnah into the masjid.
Yeah. Wow.
Walking
deep.
Quran.
I like that.
I'm saying he's a scholar of hadith, and that's his specialty. So when you're studying hadith, you're living with the Prophet Asim's tradition, right? So very humble as well, man. You know, try to kiss his forehead, push you back, and he will push you back. I remember one time, he come to the hotel in Mecca. So my brother went to try and kiss his forehead. Like, he dashed my brother back, but you know when he dashed him back, it's with such a smile. he dashed you back. But it's like so nice. It's so nice. It's the nicest push. Allah barik, man. That's what I'm saying. Like these things, they make you reflect. Like, wait, am I doing something wrong here? That's not the way the scholars are. Even I'm listening to Sheikh Saleh Husseini quite a bit recently, and just see the way he, every now and again, the way he talks to his students.
Yep.
It's just nice.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Can't lie though, that Athar Ibn Abbas got to me,
I think one thing that's really sick that I don't think we mentioned is that there's great honor in these things, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of nobility here, which is that you show mercy and love to people who are younger than you, and you show
100.
respect and
100.
venerate people who are older than you. There's a lot of, like, as in even within yourself, you're getting closer to being a noble person if you can implement these things.
Man. These are no makarim al-akhlaq, man.
Yeah.
Prophet came to teach the highest manners.
Yeah. This I know really I can see the ending itch in you. I can see it.
I had energy, but I don't know what's happened, man. Suddenly just we recorded like 4 episodes, 3 different shows, 2 different shows.
Yeah.
3 episodes.
Bro, you threw me off, man. Another thing I think is important is that these things don't just remain. They're not all isolated incidents. They have a way of penetrating the other parts of the society. Like this hierarchy that we have in the religion, like the older younger thing, it stretches further than just my relationship with one person. The whole community at large will be disrupted if we didn't have this. Do you get it? We wouldn't have a clear system of who is respected, who's not respected, how we organize our societies. We wouldn't have that if we didn't have this system. Do you get it?
I think so. Yeah.
What's funny?
No.
He's
I'm
gone.
just tired.
Yeah.
He's gone.
I'm just tired.
Yes, Abbas.
Yes.
I really agree with you.
Okay.
On that note, click the link below, whatever the link is. It will be good for you. I don't know what it's going to be. It might be a donation. It might be a merchandise. It might be
merchandise.
a different video. That I'm sure I heard Instagram links be mentioned, whatever. If there's nothing there at all, just blame Jimmy. Actually, no, don't blame Jimmy, because have mercy. He's young. He's younger than most of you guys. So don't blame Jimmy.
No,
If he messes up, have mercy.
We're not even going to tell you
If the video and audio are out of sync, have mercy on Johnny.
If he's older than you, have respect. If he's younger than you, have some mercy. But you don't know his age, so just have both.
Don't comment about him. But yeah, with that said, we'll end it there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace.
Are you a believer? What's the proof of your iman then? There's a beautiful hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he said, وَالصَّدَقَةُ burhan. Charity is a burhan. Burhan is translated as proof. But this is such a beautiful usage of the language that I must explain to you what the word burhan means. You see, the Arabs would use the term burhan to describe the rays of the sun, because the sun is always there, but you only notice it when its rays reflect and shine down on the earth. And that's why the Arabs, if they wanted to talk about something which they called hujjatul qati'ah, a clear-cut proof, something that was a clear-cut evidence for something, they would call it a burhan, describing this proof as if it was like the sun out in the sky, shining with all of its glory onto the earth. And that's the word they use to describe proof. A proof that's so clear that it's blinding you with how clear it is. And that's the word the Prophet ﷺ chose to describe what charity does for the believer. You see, our iman is in our hearts, but also on our limbs. But a person on his limbs, he can be a hypocrite. He can be a munafiq. Charity is the thing that demonstrates that your iman is real. And if this is something that maybe didn't come to you before, and you didn't know how serious this concept was, I want to present you an opportunity that will help you. You see, the same way when you want to invest in business, you want to give to a business that's going to bring you a greater return. When you want to give charity, you also want to give in a place that will give you a greater return. Is there a return that can be greater than spending your money in the path of da'wah, in the path of La ilaha illallah, whereby funding da'wah projects, you're able to facilitate for people to come to La ilaha illallah. When that happens, you don't just get the reward of the money that you gave, but you get the reward of all that comes as a result of that money. The person comes to Islam, he learns wudu, he learns salah, he learns zakat, he learns siyam, he does it every day of his life for the rest of his life until he dies. He teaches his family members, he has kids, his kids have kids, their kids have kids. All of that is on your scale. All because you gave what? Maybe £50, maybe £100, maybe less. Brothers and sisters, as you know, we have a da'wah project that we're running online, and you guys have already seen the fruits that we've been producing with the tawfiq and the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In order to allow these da'wah efforts to continue, we are in need of Allah Azza wa Jal, of you guys to be a part of this. Click the link below and donate, and this will inshallah ta'ala benefit you before it benefits the person who receives the da'wah. With that said, Assalamu alaikum, peace.